Hi guys, and welcome to my channel. My name is Anouk, and in today's video I'm migrating to a new bullet journal for the second half of 2020. I'm currently in an Archer and Olive A5 size notebook. I'm moving into a new Archer and Olive A5 notebook. It's been a while since I've posted a video, but I'm very glad to finally be back after months of recovering from my spine injury and having tons and tons of school tasks. Without further ado, there's a lot to do in this setup, so let's just get started. I've never tried out setting up the beginning of a new journal like this. I used to have a future log, but I never used it before, so I'm excited to give it a shot. On the first page, where you write your contact information, I decided to write only the first letter of my name, an A. To give the page that little more something something, I decided to add a flower crown around the letter. I like to add that little something that makes the first page fit in with the rest of the setup. For this setup, I wanted to go with a floral theme as I've been loving everything with flowers nowadays. In my last theme, I tried out adding some gold and bronze paint in my journal. I loved it so much I decided to add more gold in my new bullet journal as well. I drew everything out in pencil first. Once that was done, I went over it with a gold gel pen from Arteza. Each product I use will be linked down below. Flipping to the next page, it was time to start setting up my actual spreads. The first spread I wanted to add in this new bullet journal was my future log. I decided to leave this spread out of my current journal, and that sort of made clear how much I missed it. I didn't add an index nor a key as well. I've been bullet journaling now for over 2 years, and at this point I don't really need a key because I got very familiar with my own system of symbols. I also never used the index pages in my previous setups, so I'm skipping those too and diving right into my future log. To set up my future log, I decided to go for a full overview of 2020 instead of half of 2020. I don't know why, but without those first few months, it kind of felt empty and not right, so I'm adding those in this future log as well. I first drew out everything in pencil, and afterwards I went over it with a gold gel pen. To spice this page up, I went in with the flowers in the middle, adding some more gold and adding a few black details. On the following page, I decided to put my grid spacing spread. This spread was highly inspired by Amanda Rachley and Elizabeth Turn from Plant-Based Bride. In my previous journal, I had always had a hard time figuring out where the middle of my page was. The idea here is that this is a place to write out the dimensions of the notebooks you are using. The page on the right I left kinda empty. I wanted to keep an empty space somewhere in my bullet journal migration, so if I forgot something, I could add it right in where I wanted it to. Next page I'm setting up is a 20 and 2020 page. In the beginning of 2020, I set up a list of 101 goals in 1001 days. It's been hard to complete those because we haven't had quite the possibility to go out much in 2020 yet. I will not be filling out this spread in this setup because I want to give it a little more thought. If you want to see how this spread turned out, definitely tune in on my Instagram. Go follow me on my Instagram, it'll be linked in the description box down below. The left side was empty, so I decided to fill it up with a fitting quote saying, "La vie est une fleur dont l'amour est le miel." This is a quote by Victor Hugo. It says that life is a flower whose love is made of honey. Around the quote, I added a bunch of roses to finish it all off. My next spread is a reading tracker. To be honest, I've never added a reading tracker ever in my journals before. This quarantine has made me read a lot more and I really dig it. I really wanted to keep track of all the books I've read. If you have any book recommendations, let me know in the comments down below. For this spread, I went with a bookshelf layout in gold with flowers at each bottom of the shelves. The other side of this spread is my period tracker. I've always wondered if I had any irregularities in my period system. I'm curious on how it will come out at the end of the year. For this period tracker setup, I wrote out the first letter of the month and the number of the days of each month. I wanted to keep this spread fairly simple. The following spread is a video kanban. Since the beginning of 2020, I wanted to get back into filming videos for you guys again. This spread setup is inspired by Elizabeth from Plant-Based Bride. I find it difficult getting an overview of things on my computer. That's why I wanted to give this kanban setup a shot. The last spread in this migration setup is my invoices and expenses tracker. I used to always add an invoices and expenses spread in my monthly setup, but I have to be honest with you guys, those pages were barely filled in. Also, I'm planning on being a part-time freelance graphic designer and I needed a place where I could keep my invoices close to me. The right side of the spread is my expenses page. Here I want to track the big expensive things I bought in the rest of 2020. With that said, let's do the final flip through of my 2020 half-year setup. Here are all the spreads I set up in this video for you guys. I really hope you like these spreads. I tried to keep most of the things minimal as planning and using my journal is easier that way for me, but I still wanted to add those floral-esque vibes to spruce it up. So that was the entire setup. I really hope you enjoyed this video. Please like it if you did and subscribe to my channel if you hadn't subscribed already. I hope you're having a lovely day and I will see you in my next video. Bye friends!